So today we're going to chat a little bit about why rehabs don't work. Because people seem to think, you've got addictive behaviors, the thing you need to do is go to a rehab. 28 days in a rehab. That's just like standard 101. Like if you have a cold, you take vitamin C and ibuprofen. Like if you've got an addiction, then you have to go to rehab for 28 days. And the honest truth is, like, the rates vary from rehab to rehab and country to country, and depending on the methodology and the quality of the therapist, but it's around about an 85% chance that people who go to a standard 28-day rehab will relapse within the first month, if not the first week. Where else in healthcare, in psychological support, would we think that that was a successful method? Like 85% of people fail and then it doesn't work, so we go back and do exactly the same thing again. Like, it's crazy, it's insanity. But the rehab industry is run a bit like big pharma. It's about money, it's about ROI. There's a lot of money in people keeping it like it's a revolving door, keeping people sick, having them just come back, well, they didn't try hard enough. They didn't avoid their triggers. The reality is rehab doesn't work, especially short-term rehab, because addiction is a symptom of complex childhood trauma, and you cannot resolve that in 28 days. You can't resolve that in 60 days or in 90 days. It takes a year to build new neural pathways, to build a new relationship and understanding of tools for working with your own nervous system. It simply takes longer. And the idea that you would be taken away from your triggers and like your drug of choice, whatever, your toxic family relationship, and whatever triggers you, or even just the drug alone, you'd be taken away from that for 28 days. We maybe, if you're at a good rehab, do a deep dive into your timeline, your traumas, everything that's happened to you, what has actually caused you to be pathologically self-soothing. If you're a good rehab, you do that. So basically we open Pandora's box and then back out in the world we go, straight back to all the triggers and everything else. Now, if it's a good rehab, you're going to have solid aftercare, you're going to be immersed in a fellowship, there's going to be, of course, you'll have a plan, a relapse plan, but you just cannot learn and really cement the level of neurological change and embody the tools, the nervous system work that needs to happen to overcome an addiction in such a short period. Now, I want to be really honest and really upfront why that standard approach didn't work. I will also say that rehabs have been part of my journey and a very helpful part of my journey. In their stages, if you drank like I drank, where I needed hospitalization, I needed a detox that was managed. So rehabs have formed a part of my journey, and they have been some important steps on the journey, but never are they a solution to the problem. Never are they a silver bullet. Stopping drinking or drugging is just the very first step in a process. And any good rehab, any rehab worth its weight in salt will tell you this is just the first step in the process. So I'm going to do another video on selecting the right type of rehabs, because 12-step programs are free. You do want a rehab that's going to dive into complex trauma, that's going to have a staged approach for you leaving, not just a paper plan on what to do if you get triggered. You need something a lot more solid than that. You need to have a therapeutic alliance with somebody that you can work with long term. Ideally, the best work that my team does with rehabs is we start those relationships before you leave the rehab, and then you've already got someone that you trust in, that you can work with and continue on. But again, with this YouTube channel, I'm going to give you as much free guidance as I can. You know, I still recommend that you do work with a specialist, and really, because that's going to be the most effective way of doing this, because otherwise it's a lot more timely process. And what I also want to do with this channel is all of the things that I failed at, all of the hard-earned lessons, I want to share those. So if anyone can skip one of those painful lessons and get to a place of not just surviving, but to thriving sooner, then this station, my suffering, has been worth it. So anyway, guys, that's why short-term rehabs do not work. They can play a part. Now, this is the conversation. Do you need a rehab? Do you need a hospital detox? Do you need a medical detox? What's the best solution for where you're at? A few key questions that you need to ask yourself to understand what's going to be the best solution for you, especially if you're not ready to get sober. If you're not ready to get sober, you know you have addictive behaviors, but you're not ready to get sober. That was me, by the way. Rehab's a big waste of money. Let's, in a separate video, talk about when we choose rehab, what type of rehab we choose, and whether it's rehab, detox, medical, assisted detox. And also, there's a point where you can do the home detox, and there's a point when you absolutely can't. And especially coming off alcohol or benzos, it is life-threatening to go cold turkey. So if you're thinking of going cold turkey and you're a hardcore addiction, I'd say call a detox or a rehab right now. Don't do it on your own. But let's have another more detailed conversation around if you're choosing a rehab or a detox or hospital, what one's going to be the best one for you.